Hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for over a year and 2.5 months, and counting, because that's right, the daily stream streak remains strong. I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 60 to 90 minutes for today's coffee break. But before I get into the stream subject followed by the standard Q&A, allow me to start with a little bit of housekeeping. Intern Feroy, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, hey, Sleepless Dragon, Lone Claw, Jestifactory, Rune, Amber, Black Phoenix, Dr. Frogman, Senior Researcher Alex, Jestifactory, Aoki. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site-42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, interns Hunter Mark, Griffith, Tambari, Roy New, DJ, Rain, Rockster, Mental Studios, Opal, and Pizzafoot. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today, interns, just for being you. Now, reminder, today's stream is sponsored. It is sponsored by the Send Dr. Sherman to the Fancy Smancy YouTuber Convention Fund. Reminder that not this weekend, but next weekend, I will be attending, because I've already taken the time off work. I've already got the ticket. I've already got the merchandise that I will be handing out to make a statement and make sure they remember us. I will be heading to a convention known as Open Sauce. Open Sauce is a tech YouTuber convention, although it also has several YouTubers from the cosplay, gaming, and film spaces. Anybody who makes things comes to this, and many of these people need to be educated about the SCP Foundation and what it can do for their work. And so, I will be there handing out stickers, making sure that they know that the SCP Foundation is dope AF. This is, however, a very expensive venture, and as we all know in the SCP Foundation, we are an artist community, a starving artist community mostly. So if you have it in your hearts and pockets to donate a little bit more this coming week, that way I can more easily afford to skip work for the weekend and do this, I would appreciate it. It's more of a maker fair / adult level science fair. That is correct, Chance to Factory. And if I were to go only on the days with the cheapest ticket, Saturday and Sunday, I would be mobbed by the general public. I would not get a lot of face time with these creators, which is why I had to get the very expensive 3-day ticket, which was 4 times the price, but does allow me to go on opening day, which has far less people. If we're going to take the time to do this, we're going to do it right. We're going to get our face time. We're going to do our diplomatic envoy duties. We will bring networking and knowledge and future YouTube recognition to the SCP Foundation community. I am happy to do this service on our behalf. So I thank you in advance if you are capable of donating to this fund. Now, with that out of the way, let me speak. Wait. If someone gives 20 memberships, I'll give you a background voice line in my recording of SCP-166. Must be 18 plus to enter, more than one slot available. Desk is making offers of compensation in return for gifted memberships. Desk, keep track of that. You have now been announcemified. So, before I get to the donations, before I get to the general Q&A, let me tell you about today's stream subject. For those who haven't been here the last 2 days, it has been announced by Variety magazine that the VHS franchise of horror films has announced that their next movie is going to be VHS SCP. Their found footage anthology horror movie series is going to be tackling the SCP Foundation to be released theatrically in 2027. That is the first bit of news. And on Monday, when we got this news, we started celebrating. Hey, upcoming movie. Hooray, SCP's finally getting its movie. Then, of course, the internet being what it is, everyone started to research the movie, the companies behind it. And they started to see what may or may not be red flags, depending on the answers to questions we don't have yet. So first and foremost, remember, I am reporting the facts that I have found along the way. I am not yet making judgments because I do not want to judge too rashly. I am finding information, I am providing information to the best of my ability, and we will see, as the news develops, what answers we get. So, first piece of possible red flag and news regarding it. Nope, the stream subject just got waylaid by an adorable puppy. Apparently, there is an adorable puppy in the studio. Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie, in fact, has come to say hello to the chat. I knew some of you were waiting for Charlie. She is here to be the sweetie pumpkin you all adore, to have a delightful treat at your behest. Here you go, a treat from the chat. Sweetie pumpkin, Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie, is here. Thank you for your visitation, you adorable little thing. And now be free. So, the first of possible red flags, which is, I would say in this case, possibly yellow, moving toward green. We have some more news on this front. People have been worried that the film producers did not contact the SCP Wiki staff at all before choosing to make this movie, let alone before announcing it. Now, when the Backrooms movie happened, Kane Parsons was involved. When the Siren Head movie was just announced, Trevor Henderson got a deal out of that. When the Mandela Catalog movie was announced, Alex Kister got news of that, got part of the deal. This is what we expect in Hollywood because these are copyrighted properties. For the SCP Foundation, we specifically did not have to be reached out to legally. The Creative Commons license, which a lot of people are getting very wrong on the internet right now, and even though I'm not a lawyer or a legal person, I'm an illegal person maybe? I don't know, we'll have to put a pin in that. A lot of people are getting this wrong on the internet, so let me make it quite plain. SCP is not public domain. It is copyrighted to the creators of SCP works. Every SCP author owns the copyright of their own articles. I own the copyright of every SCP I have submitted to the site. And I have also voluntarily, by submitting them to the site, released them via Creative Commons 3.0 Share Alike with Attribution license. So what this means is that a film studio that wants to make a film of SCP-3086, George the Chinchilla, does not have to ask me for permission. They just have to name me as the author of the original work. They have to name the original work, SCP-3086, codename Death of the Author, etc. They need to link the website that my article is listed at. They have to then release their own derivative work via the same Creative Commons 3.0 Share Alike with Attribution license. So if they fulfill that, then they never needed to contact me in the first place. And in fact, they are allowed to monetize their work. But they would have to then release their own work and credit me properly. That's the rule. And so, while they did not legally have to approach the SCP community to ask permission, there are some who say it would have been nice. And yeah, I guess it would have been nice. But, at the end of the day, remember, not legally necessary. Furthermore, the question has then been staff's concern as well as the community. Will they actually follow the license? Because you see, many projects get the license wrong. They don't know about it, they don't understand it, and they make that mistake and then get in trouble. And so SCP Wiki staff has been trying to get in contact with the filmmakers just to confirm that the legalese is all sorted out. Because as far as I've heard so far from staff contacts, if the legalese is in line, then they're cool. That's all they have to say on it, is the legalese is done. In fact, remember, SCP Wiki staff does not support or put down any project outside of the SCP Wiki. They do not support outside projects. They do not deny outside projects. They stay neutral. And so as long as the legalese is correct on the Creative Commons 3.0 Share Alike with Attribution license, staff is done with their job, and they will be happy. Now, let's go to the next level of this Creative Commons thing. I have done my due diligence with my SCP film contacts here and there. I've been in this community for 13 years. I've worked with a lot of filmmakers, podcasters, etc. I knew a couple people who had some contact information, which I telephoned to staff. And so to the best of my ability, they are trying to make contact. I did find a tiny morsel of new information. New information that leads in a positive direction. And so what is this new news? The new news is that while I was doing research last night after stream, I remembered that, okay, Variety magazine reported that this was being made, but what about the studio themselves? What did they say that's being reported on? And so I went to the website of Image Nation Abu Dhabi, one of the two studios who is making this film. Now, we'll talk more about Image Nation Abu Dhabi in the next yellow to red flag situation that we have to talk about, but at least on this one, just solely talking about the license. Their version of the press release does mention, this was not mentioned in the Variety article, but it is mentioned on the Image Nation Abu Dhabi press release. And I quote, "The new VHS feature will adapt the found footage concept that has defined the franchise since 2012, blah, 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 blah." Get to the good part. "The anthology's multi-director structure will showcase standalone segments, each built around a different anomalous object, entity, or event, unified by an overarching containment breach frame narrative." Let me say that again. The anthology's multi-director structure, so multiple directors are directing the different segments, will showcase standalone segments, each built around an anomalous object, entity, or event, unified by an overarching containment breach frame narrative. So there will be some sort of containment breach, and there will be some sort of individual pieces. That's not the important part yet. I'm getting the important part. The important part. All entities, incidents, and documentation featured in the film are original creations developed for this production, inspired by concepts from the SCP Foundation, scpwiki.wiki.com, licensed under CC by SA 3.0. Let me say that again. All entities, incidents, and documentation featured in the film are original creations developed for this production, inspired by concepts from the SCP Foundation, website listed, licensed under CC by SA 3.0. So, what this means, if I'm reading it correctly, is A, that this movie might not feature any SCPs from the SCP Wiki. This might not be SCP Wiki entities, objects, or places. This might be anomalies that are original to the film, while utilizing the SCP Foundation organization as the overarching framing narrative window. Which is an interesting thing. Someone had a question, wouldn't it be easier to contact the creators of the stories that you're using? And in this case, if they're not using actual SCPs, if they're just making anomalies within an SCP framework, then that omits that. Now, the second thing is, if you're going to make all new anomalies in the first place, why are you using the SCP branding in the first place? Because if you're doing all normal anomalies, you could do the control thing and make an off-brand SCP if you're not using the actual SCPs. And third and foremost, most importantly, they linked the SCP website and licensed under CC by SA 3.0. I'm not sure if that means that they're using the SCP Foundation, which is licensed by Creative Commons, or if it means that whatever they make, they're going to release it Creative Commons. Because at the very same point, they're mentioning the proper Creative Commons license, which means we damn well know the studio knows the rules, or at least the name of the rule set they should be paying attention to. If the studio's press release mentions the CC by SA 3.0, that really gives some credence to the idea that they're going to follow the rules, doesn't it? They certainly know about the rules. They press released announcing the rules. When I showed this to Wiki staff, this was a small edging toward a green light. Okay, they might be actually following the rules then. So that is a small step in the right direction. It's not confirmation, but it is closer to confirmation than we were before. That is a good start. Hopefully, we hear more information from Image Nation from Spooky Pictures, the other studio that's involved, from the VHS team, especially if they would talk to SCP Wiki staff and confirm everything for real, not for play. That is yellow or green flag. That is flag number 1. We don't know what color the flag is yet. Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it red? We don't know yet. Right now, it's just a flag. I'm colorblind for the time being. Now, our second flag on the film that people are concerned about, conversation is on about. People are concerned about AI that has been used in the VHS franchise film Halloween. Now, that use of AI was a singular use of AI, in that they put a AI photo in a scene, and they've been dogged about it on Reddit a lot about that. Now, a new movie has not come out since then, I don't think. And I don't... Actually, let me double check myself since I'm talking about it. Go back to the VHS franchise Wikipedia. Was Halloween the last one? Yes, Halloween was the last one and is the one that used the AI. Now, hopefully they were dogged on that enough that they don't do it again. That's what we've got our fingers crossed on. They have not made a statement here or there. So we don't know if they are, quote, pro-AI. We do not know what the stance they have is. And since a second movie has not been made since the one they got yelled at about, we don't know. So we will continue to keep an ear out for information on the AI asset use of the SCP film, since the SCP film is since SCP community is very anti-AI use. Gen AI is kind of against the ethos of a hobbyist arts community that is making fun things. So, that is the second flag that we are still waiting for intel on. Are they actually pro-AI? Was it an oversight since maybe it was just a small thing? We don't know yet. Now, our third flag, as Froy has just brought up, what about allegations of having connections with the UAE? Those are not allegations. That is just factual. The studio, specifically Image Nation, or Image Nation Abu Dhabi, is a film studio based in Abu Dhabi, based in the United Arab Emirates. Now, many people, as soon as they brought that up, they said, okay, well, the UAE has a lot of human rights abuses, and so by that logic, this is blood money. We cannot support this movie. Now, in the first place, we need to grade exactly how far the connection between this film project and that government is. Now, we can say, for sure, that Image Nation Abu Dhabi is owned by the government of the UAE. Fact check, they are owned by the UAE government. This is part of their culture, culture front of getting arts to happen. Now, over the course of, since 2009, a lot of movies and couple documentaries and some games have been made in conjunction with Image Nation Abu Dhabi. Now, I can't tell you how much that they collaborated on these projects, what their share of the budget was. The mission statement on their website, Image Nation Abu Dhabi, points out that they are trying to empower Arab filmmakers. Detractors would say, just like sports washing or arts washing, they are making art to cover for their human rights abuses. That is an opinion of a lot of people. But let me show you the series of productions that in the past have been made in part by Image Nation Abu Dhabi. We are looking at productions of Image Nation Abu Dhabi They worked on I don't know what Emrika is. I don't know what Shorts is. I don't know what My Name is Khan is. I don't know what The Crazies is. I don't know what Furry Vengeance is. Is that Brendan Fraser? Yeah, that's Brendan Fraser and Ken Jeong and Brooke Shields. I don't know what Fair Game is. Naomi Watts, Sean Penn. I don't know what The Way Back is. Oh, I do remember, I think, this movie. I remember this poster, at least. The Beaver. I don't know what The Beaver is. Mel Gibson. Always a laugh. Huh. The Help. Oh, I think that was a very popular movie when it came out, right? People remember The Help? I know Contagion was huge because it came out, and I think we all watched that during the pandemic, because, dear God. Sea Shadow, I'm not familiar with. The Double, I'm not familiar with, and it's not even... There it is. Richard Gere, Topher Grace. Okay. The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. I feel like I've known that name, or at least it sounds like a PTA movie. No, PTA. Paul Thomas Anderson. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. So we have a Nick Cage movie here. Men in Black 3. I haven't heard of Jin. Flight, I haven't heard of. Oh, hey, how you doing there? How you doing, Denzel? Promised Land with Matt Damon. I don't know what Snitch is. That's a rock movie, though. 100-Foot Journey, I've never heard of that. Life of Crime, never heard of that. A Most Violent Year, I don't know that one. The Journey Home, I don't know that one. 99 Homes, don't know that. Keeping Up with the Joneses, I've heard that phrase, I've never seen this movie. Rings, what? What? 2017, so a sequel in the Ring trilogy series. Interesting. More Ring movies. The Circle, that one was a really big deal when it came out. I remember seeing the poster for this one. I don't know what Roman J. Israel Esquire is, but it's Denzel again. Benji, I don't know this movie. It's a Blumhouse movie, apparently. Men in Black International, so the latest Men in Black movie. Prey 2019, that one, I didn't see it, but it was huge. Everyone was saying this is like the best thing. I still need to see that one. Mosul, I don't know. Al Kameen, I don't know. Watcher, I don't know. Late Night with the Devil, I heard good things. I heard this one also had a tiny bit of AI controversy in a scene or something. I don't remember exactly. And then there's 2 more movies to be announced. We also got a couple documentaries that I'm unfamiliar with. He named me Malala, so the Malala documentary. So, again, a lot of these say these are American films, but Image Nation Abu Dhabi has a hand in them, so to speak. Then we've got Lord of the Rings Aragorn's Quest as a game, Super Scribblenauts, Fear 3, Harry Potter for Connect, Scribblenauts Unlimited, Scribblenauts Remix, Injustice Gods Among Us, and Scribblenauts Unmasked, a DC Comics adventure. So, that is quite a body of work for this group. They've also, let me put it like this. The studio's productions have been screened at over 400 international film festivals and have received prestigious awards, including 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA, and an Emmy. So, the film industry does not see what's happening with the UAE as a reason to blacklist this film group. Hollywood does not see it fit to ban this film group from participation based on the UAE's actions. They have handled some pretty big projects. many of which have some pretty big accolades. The games list is entirely Warner Brothers games. Good to know, 369 Destroyer. I did not catch that. So yes, that is intel. That is all the intel I've gathered on Image Nation Abu Dhabi right now. Yes, I did say Intern Tambari that one of their movies won an Emmy. I'm not sure which movie it was out of that list. Is there a citation? 4, 5. It looks like they must have won the Emmy for... I don't see it in this... Oh, there we go. Control F Emmy. This says they won an Emmy, but it doesn't say which movie it's for. It's another article. Let me check the other source and see if it actually lists which one they won the Emmy for. This mentions just that they won the Emmy again. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mention for which production. So, yes. So what we do know, what the facts are, is that Image Nation Abu Dhabi is owned by the United Arab Emirates government. We also know that, at the very least, Hollywood, including Warner Brothers Gaming Division, does not see this as a reason not to work with them. I'm sure debates will continue on exactly how much of a say they will have in the film, how much money they will profit off of it, what the scenario is for whether you should support them or not. So, I still do not have a solid opinion of this yet. I am still doing my research. And between the licensing issue, the AI issue, and the UAE ties issue, that is the current intel, to my knowledge, now gift-wrapped and delivered to you. I came in on you saying, I don't know what furry vengeance is, and I wasn't immediately sure what was happening. You know, that is a pretty out-of-context statement. Yeah, that's out of pocket. I, too, would be rather confused. I mean, at least I was confused about what furry vengeance was. I am not a furry vengeance knower, that's for sure. Dr. Sumerian, since I've got you here, do you happen to have a Ko-Fi by chance? I know you have a Patreon, but do you have a Ko-Fi as well? Just thinking thoughts. Alright. Let me catch up, Wacky Clown. Is it saying much if Hollywood doesn't mind them? Hollywood's morals are fucked. Wacky Clown, remember, you can't paint all of Hollywood with the same brush, the same way that you can't paint any group with the same brush. Hollywood as a machine does a lot of things because of capitalism. Some corporations are better or worse than others. Vague, general statements don't help us sort this out. I don't have a Ko-Fi. I take commissions over PayPal, so I do have a PayPal link. I can probably set a Ko-Fi up if needed, obviously. That would probably work. I mean, Ko-Fi does what it does through PayPal anyway, so it's basically the same thing. Good. Just to have that on hand in case there were someone who wanted to donate money to friend of the channel, Dr. Sumerian, for some reason. Wink, wink. What the fuck, thumbnail? I did that. Yes, Memori, I did feel in the need of delivering stand-up awesome news to the community that Desk and I needed to show our strong man colors. Or strong desk colors. for the occasion. All right. Do 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 do. All right, I've cleared out the back channels. All right, so wow, now I feel bad about my submission and new desk design. Mamori, why? Why do you feel bad? I thought your design for this was very good, which is why I shared it. Any further designs are only improvement of your craft through more practice. They must be even better. My assumption. Okay, let me get organized now. We finished the stream subject, although I will still accept questions about the movie situation throughout the stream, because obviously people will be coming in late and they'll have questions. I'll try to be quick about those. But first, let me catch up on the donos. Dark Duality, thank you for your 13 months as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and service. Hey, can we find out who keeps spawning anomalies near me? There was a Flamingo Fairy Unicorn hybrid left in a box outside where Gen Pop could see it. Oh, that's super annoying. Yeah, put that in a box. Put that away. We'll try and run a trace on it later. FB, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they feel the love. Ace of Luck, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a shrimp cocktail on your way past the commissary. It escaped. It's out. 7-2. Motherfucker. The industry is loose. Then get it back in the box now. You saw it. You chase it. Gabe Hott, thank you for sending 5 thumbs up and a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They are now a 1-star team with 5 levels of positivity. So thank you for that. And Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to the chat. I'm sure they feel the love. All right, that should delay the audio sync issues for a short time. Dr. Sherman, Late Night with the Devil had a number of fake sponsor logos that popped up throughout. A couple were created using AI, but most were human-made. Also, new Murphy Law article 9643. Ooh, more Murphy Law. Love that for my reading pleasure. Furthermore, okay, so some of their posters were AI and some won't. And yeah, that's part of the situation is people were... when the AI first came out, a lot of people were excited to use this new tool before they knew the bad things about it. The water use, the training data that they were used on. One thing, just as a personal plea from myself, in the Mr. Rogers way of trying to be kind to people, people get defensive when attacked, and if you immediately hit them with outrage, they're likely to turtle shell and defend their position more strongly. Case in point, it was a couple of years ago when the AI thing just started and the models were crap, but you could input a photograph of yourself and it would spit out multiple fantasy versions of you in AI. I was home for Christmas, and I was bored, and family had gone to bed. I was sitting up late at night, and I uploaded one of my personal photographs to this thing, and it cranked out a bunch of AI fantasy, and I was like, oh, aren't these neat? And then a ton of people got into my replies, chewing me the F out. And I took a breath, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to fight them on this. I'm going to listen first. Ooh, because I really just wanted to get in a fight about it. Because if you punch somebody, it's not likely they're going to be rational. It's most likely they're just going to punch back irrationally. And so you can punch people with words in the internet. There's a lot of studies that... there's studies on why men kill women when it comes to incels and dating. Wish we could fix that problem. But the studies that they did on brain scans of men when it comes to that is that they, the part of your brain that lights up when you break a bone is the same part of your brain that lights up when you are rejected for a date or insulted in that way. And so your brain treats pain, physical or emotional, very similarly. And so what I'm saying is that I took my breath because I knew I was going to have to. But likely, if I were not thinking, I just would have gotten in a fight with them over, and I would have entrenched myself in a cycle of defending AI because the non-AI people were attacking me. And hell, I've got a lot of tendency to defend people just in general. And so if someone's being attacked, my first instinct is to defend them. Now, maybe there are things I shouldn't defend. I got to take a look at that first. Case in point. Let's try to be cool at the first mistake. Now, if they go whole hog into the pro AI cesspool, then we can be like that. But as Sim is saying as well, using it a little bit early, and then going, oh shit, we're going to get flack for this, and also it's not good. If they turn their back on it, that's great. That's what I'm saying. Give them space to turn back on this. And for whoever just came in and said, I just got here, what's the new news? The new news is A, due to the press release from the studio, we think that the SCPs in the movie might be original to the movie. They might not be using SCPs from the wiki. They might just be using the SCP branding, title, and such as that. Which I would imagine just means I want some very heavy lifting to make it very good, since you're using our branding but not using our stories. Please make it good. However, they would have to release their works via the Creative Commons at that point, which would be fulfilling the license at the very least. Second new news is we found out that the UAE connection, the fact that the studio, one of the studios involved is Image Nation Abu Dhabi, has worked on a lot of very prominent films and games in the past. And so your mileage may vary on how important those UAE blood money ties are when you look at the works they've done in the past and now onto this. More research to be done. You can rewatch the VOD of the opening of the stream to see more in depth what I'm talking about. We could get Robert Bobrozicki to play 096 in VHS. I mean, obviously, old Bob Square there. Oh no, his name is almost SpongeBob SquarePants. His name is Bob Squared. Bob Square. Has anyone made that joke? Has anyone drawn him into a SpongeBob SquarePants before? Also, I finally got to see the back rooms today. The theater was comically empty. Well, that is quite a liminal way to see a movie. Oh, geez, I remember way back in the day, when the Great Gatsby movie came out, the Leonardo DiCaprio one. I went to go see that one afternoon in a completely abandoned theater. Just stuck my foot up, I owned the place. That was a very liminal experience. Intern Bananaj. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I think the UAE thing is pretty similar to the AI thing. If you don't know better than whatever, but once you know, and you're making an active choice after that. Indeed, indeed. And on top of which, I mean, the question then is, okay, what percentage? Are they getting money? Are they getting clout off of this? What material support is Imagination Abu Dhabi getting in return for making this movie in which they... What is their goal here, I guess? Yes, Dr. Frogman, that is what you've been saying, yes. I wonder if the SCP movie is going to be like the Containment Breach game or you. Intern Aaron, it does not look like it's going to be the Containment Breach game, although they did mention a Containment Breach. But it seems like it's found footage of different entities, objects, and places. The situation honestly feels like we wished for a movie and a genie just giggled in the distance. Yes, the monkey's paw wish is a classic in horror, so I mean, we were gonna get that. I'm super excited for Fan Art Friday. People on the Discord are very good at drawing, and so are people who aren't on the Discord. From what I've seen, this one is going to be peak. Very exciting. I look forward to seeing it in 2 days. What's your personal opinion? Are you cautious, excited, or putting off emotion for the time being? I am very much putting off emotion for the time being, because there is a lot of emotion already flying about, so I'm trying to hold it in. Now, of course, I know the biggest thing in my heart of hearts that is at this process is that my entire thing has been trying to get an SCP movie into theaters, trying to make this kind of thing happen. Now, the caveats that are involved, I'm going to have to take a very thorough look at what would it take for me to not support this. Because this is like my whole thing. So, I have to take a very hard look at this. I mean, there are people who it's easy to say that they are not interested in this because they think it's going to suck. Or they think that, or they're not interested in an SCP movie in the first place. So they can discount it out of hand. But this is what I want to happen for SCP, for the authors, for the community. And so, and the VHS team has made middling to good movies. From what I hear, I actually need to watch them first to understand that myself. But there is an opportunity for something good to happen here, but it just depends on what weights are pulling it down into the deep. What anchors are wrapped around its ankles. I hope it doesn't take away attention from Keter Labs. I mean, Wacky Clown, Keter Labs is going to have to make their way forward in whatever process they can, but it's only likely to bring more attention to the SCP community, which makes it more likely that Keter Labs can get more attention, more funding. It's more likely to grow the community the same way it was during the SCP Containment Breach era of 2012-2013. I have a bad habit of immediately dropping stuff that I don't trust, so I'm trying to have at least a little bit of hope for the VHS movie. Yep, it's easy to get your heart broken and to then close off and just not touch it. I choose to have faither. I am trying to have faith and find my way here. And maybe it will pay off. Why is the rubber controversial? I grew up on his videos and never knew there was a controversy. Power Scaler, the rubber, along with Detective Void and a lot of the animation channels, they were very lax on following the Creative Commons license that the SCP is for, in that it took them a while to even cite the wiki and link like they were supposed to as part of the license. They did a lot of tracing of other people's art to quicken their production pipeline. They did a lot of shoving very, very blatant clickbait into SCP articles, like putting FNAF characters in there when they didn't belong. They did a lot of things that rubbed the SCP community the wrong way. They kind of annoyed us a lot. Animation Farms also whitewashed a lot of minority characters, as Dr. Sumerian just said. If the character, doesn't matter what skin tone they were always white dudes. No women, no minorities, no LGBTQIA representation, so that was annoying. The great Rounder House whitening of 20 whatever it was. Black Phoenix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Chica Cherry Cola on your way past the commissary. Greetings, Dr. Sherman. We recently discovered a ship in SCP-3200 that assigned to life. We believe the ship we discovered was caused by the anomalous type warping ability. We will keep you updated. Well, that's interesting news. Please keep me abreast of the situation. Wait, what did Rounder House do? Dr. Frogman, it's not what Rounder House did. It's Director House, Rounder House's character, is not a white guy. But in the video of one of the animation channels, Director House was a very white guy. And so that's one of the whitewashing things. I'll never forget how they did Cain and Abel. Whose goddamn white baby is that? Yes, wacky clown indeed. Intern Ike. The movie was announced to be hitting theaters in 2027. We do not know much about the plot, except it will be found footage of several different anomalies in an anthology format with an overarching SCP Foundation storyline. According to the bonus 15 minutes of footage for the backrooms, Async is government-sponsored. Async is the UIU. Really? Are they the UIU? Or are they government-funded in the same way they were? Because they were a private company making MRI machines before, if I remember the lore right. And so, were they absorbed into the government? Or are they a contractor? Oops. Earthquake. They could also be pentagram. Also, it was mRNA machines. Ah, okay. Not that I actually know what an mRNA machine is. That's not part of my expertise. They got absorbed into the government. They're UIU, not GOC, because they're trying to capitalize on the discovery of the backrooms. Well, Momori, wait a minute. The UIU specifically hunts and investigates anomalies like the Foundation does, just for the government. Async is basically just on the Backrooms mission, aren't they? If they have other projects, maybe they're UIU-like. But I would assume they're more... They're kind of like a government-sponsored Prometheus Labs at that point. Except not, but not Anderson Robotics either. I meant to say, is the SCP movie going to be like the Containment Breach game, or a bunch of tests and files lore about the SCP's groups of interest in Mobile Task Force? And also I saw SH at Gate B of Site 19. Well, stop the Serpent's Hand. They should not be here, obviously. I'd like to interrogate them if possible. Capture, please. And as I said, we don't know what the movie's going to be besides found footage of multiple anomalies in an anthology format. We do not have more intel than that yet. It doesn't sound like that would be very much like the game, like Keter Labs was doing. By the way, Site42 staff, we are at 1 hour of stream. This coffee break will go on for 1 more hour. Or sorry, 30 minutes. I guess 1 more hour if we're feeling particularly zesty. But I gotta be honest, the research and check-ins for this movie stuff, I am a tired person. I need extra sleep. Woo! A part of me is also just sick of hearing the project, mainly because it's all I'm hearing about in the Keter Lab server, which isn't bad, but I feel like a broken record is have to keep re-explaining stuff. I mean, yeah, trust me, that's what it's like when you are part of the information pipeline. How many times do I have to re-explain myself again and again here on stream? You just kind of get used to repeating yourself. My friend keeps saying something about SCP-3008. Which one is that? That is the Infinite IKEA. Also, you could have looked that up on the SCP database, to be fair. Drift Spawn, thank you for your 6 months as an overseer here at Site42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Can we turn Dr. Clef into a D class? I don't know what Dr. Clef show the interns make SCP... That abomination! Look like 999. That is what the intern said, and this is why I do have a restraining order on Dr. Clef. Stay 5,000 feet away. Listen. Disciplining Clef is above my pay grade. You try it if you want to get into that mess. $100 stars. Thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at their urging. Disciplining Clef is about a 50-50 shot at making whatever you're punishing him about worse. Really? Only a 50-50 shot? Those odds are better than I thought. Diaz, thank you for sending a happy poop to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I hope you all have very happy poops. It's good for your health. Make sure you're getting enough fiber. Most Americans don't get enough fiber. Get fiber. Be healthy with your poops. New Philosopher, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we all know, only takes 3% of your donation as a service charge, while YouTube Super Chats take 30% of your donation for YouTube, and if you go through an iPhone, then Apple gets an additional 30%. So we very much thank you making the effort to go through Ko-Fi to make your donation go further. Please, New Philosopher, grab yourself... You know, we just made a batch of this delightful bacon cheese using SCP-1600, the Philosopher's Cheese. Please help yourselves to some bacon cheese at the commissary. I don't like coffee. Do you have to use this to buy coffee? I hope you like coffee then. It will go to coffee during the convention that I am going to attend on behalf of the SCP Foundation community to get YouTube corporate and a bunch of YouTubers to think the SCP Foundation is cool. Well, at the very least, as long as it's still up in the air and we don't know it's a bad thing, I can still use the fact that there's an SCP movie announcement as clout for when talking about the community and talking them up. So there is that. That makes it useful. Diaz, thank you for sending another happy poop to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure you guys ate your bran muffins or something. And then you sent 2 stars to the chat, making them a 3-star Containment Hazard Assessment team for the time being. Halfway to a 5-star ranking. Oh, Diaz, you made them a 5-star team, so congratulations, chat! You are now a 5-star ranked Containment Hazard Assessment team, at least for now. The time being, what's the time being? Puppet Boy, I believe the time being is some sort of large infant. Because it was deleted from existence by some sort of razzle-dazzle Dorito. Or something like that. That's the rumor I hear. Intern Captain Snacks asks if SCP is getting a movie. Yes. Apparently, the VHS franchise of movies has announced that they are making an SCP movie for their next picture. There are a lot of questions up in the air about what it will be about, if they're following the licensing right, financial ties to a global slave regime. There's a whole lot of questions right now. But we're doing our best to sort through the rumors and hearsay to figure out if this will be a good movie. Intern Amara, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Excuse me, what's your thought on the Devourer of Worlds? Well, Intern Diaz, my opinion is I hope they don't devour my world. That'd be extremely abnormal, and that would not be good. SCP-5000 would be an amazing movie rather than a game. It would be a good movie. It would also be a good limited series. A road trip series like that, similar to Last of Us, where you're going from scene to scene, episode to episode. That could, and each one is like a main encounter. So yes, as for a game, I mean, well, there's already the SCP-5K game, so they're on that already at least. Guys, I'm the newest SCP called the Hungry Guy. Intern Glover, let me correct you a little bit. You're the newest anomaly called the Hungry Guy. To be an SCP, you have to be on the SCP database as an SCP document. Since that's not the case, you're just an anomaly. Completely different. The Bone Proposal would be a Greta movie because it's a large article and is mostly dialogue focused to develop characters. An interesting proposition. Haven't read Bone Proposal, so. Okay, we're clear there. Intern Torres, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a lemonade on your way past the commissary. Hello, Doc, just in to say hello. I'll look at Ko-Fi. Well, that would be very generous of your time and effort. Much obliged. "30 seconds till next text is something I hate." Yes, Intern Journey. Slow mode is a necessity for our moderator desk to keep tabs on the chat and keep it polite. But green names, our members, are allowed to skip slow mode as long as within reason they don't spam the chat. So if you want to become a member, then you learn some extra privileges. Plus, we would appreciate your generosity to the cause, of course. Intern Brown, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They've gained a prestige rank, and they are now a 1-star team again. Starting from the bottom, and working our way back to the top. I've got no money to be a member, sorry. A Ghostwire, trust me. The SCP Foundation is an arts community, we definitely understand starving artists. And so if you're part of the Broke Gang, just make sure you're an active member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters. Donate your energy and effort by liking, sharing, subscribing, chatting, commenting on videos, spreading the word through fan art, out-of-context compilations, memes, edits. Do that and the algorithm will support the SCP community, not just Site42, but SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, SCP filmmakers, game devs, animators, podcasters, merch makers, etc. We thank you for your effort in lieu of funding, if that's the way you choose to support the channel. Diaz, thank you for sending 4 more stars. You have rocketed the chat to 5-star status yet again. Congratulations. Is this a sign to join the SCP Foundation? Intern Confetti. This broadcast only goes to staff members of the SCP Foundation, so you already work for us. You must have undergone some amnestic treatment. It's usual with the horrors we see. So, yes, you'll be rehabilitated and back in the field in no time, I'm sure. Internal Security Division, thank you for your 2 months as a level 1 researcher at Site-42 in specific. Our job is to save us from ourselves. Well, that's part and parcel out of it, I imagine. Everybody works for us, especially the people working against us. Well, that's the kind of Xanatos gambit that you put down on the table when you're a magnificent bastard like we are, Sim. Is there a tale where everyone works for the Foundation except for, like, one guy? That one is everyone knows about the Anomalous except for one guy. So not just the Foundation, but also the Serpent's Hand, all the other groups of interest. If I, what's the name of that? It's called Everybody Knows, I think. Yeah, the tale is called Everyone Knows. It's very funny. Velasquez, thank you for sending 2 100s and then 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They have gained a prestige rank and are still a 5-star team. Congratulations, chat. And you also got to keep it twice as 100 at Velasquez's urging. I can't believe we're genuinely getting a movie of the SCP Foundation. How do you feel? Intern Paperboy. I am currently in a state of forced non-feeling stasis. Because from the information we have on this movie, we are still waiting for intel. I am at person just excited at an SCP movie existing. That is a personal excitement. But we are looking to see if they're going to use AI in it, which would make it a lot suckier. If they're going to follow the license, which would make it illegal if they didn't. And if they are supporting a terrible slaver regime, and if so, how much? So, I am holding it in my Schrodinger's box of excitement until I understand the answers to some of these questions. But I'm very much hoping for positive news. Because I want an SCP movie in theaters, damn it. Intern Brown, thank you for sending 11 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They have gained 2 prestige ranks and are now a 1-star team again, with time to make it back to the top again. Do we know who is directing the movie? Not to my knowledge. Let me take a look. We know the Ben Ross and Rami Yazin of Imagination Studios and Spooky Pictures are the executive producers. Do we have a director? There is not a director mentioned in the news article. And in their press release, yes, we do know it will be multiple directors because it's an anthology. So it's going to be multiple shorts as the VHS movies are prone to do. I think I saw in the VHS franchise Wikipedia that the movies have between 3 to 6 different short films making up the full runtime. So short 1, short 2, short 3, short 4 will all have different directors. Oh, wait a tick. Joshua sent 1 more star, bringing you to 2 stars. Velasquez sent a 1 hundo, so now you all got to keep it a little more 1 hundo. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diaz sent you 5 stars, getting you 1 more prestige rank. And you're still a 2-star team. A 2-star team. I wonder how the community at large will feel about any SCPs made up for the movie. Well, I mean, reminder, the SCP community is very large, with a lot of differing opinions on a lot of things. You were never going to please the whole SCP community anyways. Remember, if you're making art, you can't please everyone. So make your thing how you want to make it, and be ready for the slings and arrows of the people who get mad at you about it. Take it from Gooseworks. It can get pretty rough. Joshua Brown, thank you for sending 6 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will love cleaning up 6 separate glitter bombs at one time. The SCP community is famously kind and patient with everything and everyone. Yes, completely and utterly so kind and understanding. Would someone have to make an entry for any movie creation for it to count as an SCP and not just an anomaly? Technically speaking, so there is no canon as a rule of the SCP Wiki. To a point, everything on the Wiki is canon, because the Wiki is the canon source. But then you go off-site, and you have a questionable canonicity of off-site materials, but at the same time, like every Miku is canon, if there is no canon, then our off-site SCP stuff canon in that way. There's a lot of Dr. Sherman lore out there because of my YouTube channel that does not exist on the SCP database. But for you all who know that lore, how canon is that to Dr. Sherman despite the fact that it doesn't exist on the SCP database? I like to say there are infinite canons since every article is its own universe. That's a lot of cannons. Need more ships to carry all those cannons. Actually, no, it's a fanfiction site. There are already plenty of ships. Don't fraternize with the anomalies. It's against protocol. How many SCPs are there? Ghostwire, if I go to the SCP database right now, and I click on a random SCP article, let's say SCP-2000 here, and I go to the bottom, then I'll be able to click on the tag that says SCP, because the tags are on each page denoting what kind of page they are. Some of these are genre, or characters, or types of anomaly, but there is a tag for just SCPs. And if I click on SCPs, then I can currently say there are 10,557 pages on the SCP database tagged as SCP. Now that includes several SCP-001 proposals, translations from other international branches, dash explains, dash Js, and so it is not all main list SCPs, but there are 10,557 at time of speaking. Please talk about your pen trick, how you move it with one hand like that. New Philosopher. I was inspired to do this by the James Bond film GoldenEye. There is a guy in that movie named Boris. And Boris is a huge nerd who would spin his pen in his hands while he was working. And I decided that looked fun, and I decided to teach myself how to do it. And so, for you to train, hold the pen between your fingers, wiggle it until it's horizontal, catch it on the next finger. Boom, 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 boom. So you go over, over, under, under. You can reverse the direction. Do it palm up. It helps keep the pen in your hand. Do it palm down. The gravity is trying to steal the pen. It makes it harder. Keep it just naturally vertical, and it works out pretty well. Practice it on both hands, in both directions. Give it a couple weeks, and you will be too spinning the pen. Velasquez, thank you for sending another glitter bomb. Now they have to clean up 7 glitter bombs. Get to work, janitorial staff. Question: if you were trapped in SCP-3008, what would you do to survive? Well, I would try to find other survivors, join a camp, help find food, and contribute to mutual defense until I could come across the door and exit. That's about all one can do, correct? Ike, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will use it to breathe in, breathe out, lock in, and steady their chi. Well, it seems Joshua Brown is planning to change your rating. Let's see how far they take this. It does seem like Joshua Brown has cast PK Starstorm. What tags would you recommend using to find naval vessels? I've tried naval and boat. Both tags aren't giving me any results. So you tried naval and boat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by looking up a boat that I know. The SCP Vampire Boat. SCP-6426, codename Vampire Boat. We were not particularly clever with that codename. If I go down to the tags, Aquatic, Autonomous, Blood, Broken God, Extra-Dimensional Hostile Keter, Nameless Sapient, Shark Punching Center, SCP, The Sharkest Timeline, 3 Portlands, Unusual Incidents Unit, Vehicle. It looks like you're going to want to go to the tag search function and put together SCP, Aquatic, and Vehicle to get what you're looking for. When I do so, I find 60 pages, including the crew of the HMS Wintersheimer, cargo ship, ships that pass in the night, the SS Summerfield, boats. So yes, that is what you would do, Chester Factory, if that is what you were looking for. Happy to be of assistance. Joshua Brown, thank you for sending 131 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Besides gaining 26 prestige ranks, they are also now a 3-star team. So 26 prestige ranks and 1 star upped. Congratulations. The Captain, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself some beefed jerky on your way past the commissary. Doctor, I'm back from Birthday Live. Remember, I don't got no money. Unfortunately, for once, I don't recognize your handle. Did you change names since then? I don't seem to remember you, but maybe it's been a while. The Birthday Live was a while ago, at least a month if you're talking about the channel. I try to remember people, but you got to come around a little more often. Make yourself known. Velasquez, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They're now a 4-star chat. Also, we currently have 2 minutes left in stream. 2 minutes left in stream. Dragon VR, this is the first stream you've been to. Well, welcome. The YouTube algorithm is not kind, and so you are very lucky to have come across our stream. Us talking about the SCP Foundation. Rosemary, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some chicken and waffles on your way past the commissary. Before I answer your question, Carlos, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they'll spend their doubloon wisely. Intern Rosemary, Dr. Sherman, when is your field assignment to the YouTube convention? This weekend is the, what is it, 10th, 11th, and 12th. The following weekend is the YouTube convention. So not this weekend, but next weekend is the YouTube convention. Intern Marie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Werther's Originals on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a message with your donation, so let me thank you for your generosity. I have no money, Dr. Sherman. The Captain, it does not take money to be recognized in the chat. Now, of course, I do answer donors guaranteed because they paid money, so I am in return for their generosity answering their queries or statements. But you can also sit in the chat and just say interesting things. If you have interesting questions about SCP, I would love to answer them. I answer plenty of white name questions from the chat. It's just a matter of, are you saying something I haven't heard before? Are you saying something interesting? Bishop, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You have just made them a 5-star team. Congratulations, chat. Intern Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure that they will enjoy cleaning up yet another glitter bomb. The prank war continues. Intern Tavares, please tell me you're the main character in the SCP Foundation movie. I have not been contacted by the crew of said movie. At this point, it seems like a slim chance that I will be in it, because it is a much larger production company that probably has their own cast and crew. It would be nice to talk to them and maybe get a cameo of some sort, but then we will have to see how that goes as we continue to get information about the movie and such like that. Alright, Site42 staff, we have made it to the end of today's stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorites are the ones I wrote. That would be narcissism. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherman's author page in Site42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that people ask about in the chat very often, but then they just don't have the cleverness to find them, which is sad for them. But not for you, chat. I'm sure you'll find those links. And when you do, you'll be able to become a Site42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do YouTube Super Chat or Ko-Fi donations if you want to donate to us one at a time. Either way, your direct donations are the quickest way to help us with our Site42 projects or simply keeping the lights on. And we appreciate your generosity when you are able. If you are unable because you're part of the broke gang, don't fret about that either. We're an arts community. We understand starving artists. Instead, you can be a member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, make memes, clips, out-of-context compilations, all sorts of algorithm-pleasing things, then you are helping to spread us, Site-42, as well as the SCP Foundation's projects. Make sure to do that for them as well. The SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, SCP filmmakers, game devs, animators, podcasters, merch makers, etc. We thank you for your service, Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. Do you have a consistent streaming schedule? No! We stream at a different time every single day. But you can hit the YouTube subscription bell to get notified when we go live. And to be a little more reliable than YouTube's bell, if you join the Site42 Discord server, there is a YouTube live alert role that I ping at the start of every stream. It's much more reliable than the subscription bell. During the outro, Carlos, thank you for sending a doubloon and a 6-7 and a star and sparkles and a soccer trophy and a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They will appreciate the prestige, rank, and being a one-star team yet again. Room for potential growth. They will also, I'm sure, spend that doubloon wisely, laugh at Desk's pain, love cleaning up another glitter bomb, enjoy the football trophy, and lock in with the flow state. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one. It's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, content warning on the last one. It's a rough read. Site-42 staff, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Look at what you've done. Stand still, falling away from me when it takes so long. Fire's out, what do you want to be? No, I'm holding on. Myself was never enough for me. Gotta be so strong. There's a power in what you do. Now every other day I'll be watching you. I'll show you what it feels like. Now I'm on the outside. We did everything right. Now I'm on the outside. I'll show you what it feels like. Now I'm on the outside. We did everything right. Now I'm on the outside. Last minute. Carlos, thank you for sending a doubloon, a happy poop, a 6-7, a star, and a GG to the chat. They enjoy being a 2-star team, as well as having good games, hot snacks, and more laughing at desk's pain. Site 42 staff, be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Oh, the credit song was Outside by Calvin Harris. Almost forgot. Featuring Ellie Goulding. Okay, now, secure, contain, protect.